This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. Guess what, y'all? It's Friday.
Yes,
we made it another week. It's April 9th, everyone. I'm Tori here with my brothers, Al and Brandon. It's really good to see you all. Let's get started. We do begin with some sad news out of Britain. Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, has died at the age of 99. The Queen announced his death with deep sorrow. He spent his final days with her at Windsor Castle. Now, the two were married for an unbelievable 73 years. The Queen is expected to enter an 8-day period of mourning. Now, joining us to talk about this is Stephanie Jones. Steph, you are, of course, a Brit. Put this into perspective for us. How big is this news in England today, and what can you tell us about Prince Philip that maybe we don't know? We haven't heard from him or hadn't in a long time.
Yeah, so he is beloved by the people of Britain, and it is definitely a day of national sorrow and loss. Like you said, he was 99 years old, but he did a lot in supporting the Queen and our armed forces, particularly the Navy. So they're going to be very, very sad about this. And like you said, Tori, they were married for 73 years, which is an amazing achievement within itself. himself, so I can only imagine what the Queen and the royal family is going through right now. It's very sad. And for a fact that you might not know, he is the longest serving royal consort in history.
Wow.
In Britain, which means the supporter to the Queen or King, the married partner to whoever's on the throne.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Steph, a lot of people only became familiar with Prince Philip through The Crown on Netflix. Do you think how he was depicted there was fair, accurate?
You know what? From what I know, obviously I've never had the pleasure of meeting him, but I was an avid watcher of The Crown. I loved it, and I think it was extremely fair. They used a lot of his witty one-liners. He was known for being very sarcastic and, to be honest, controversial, not only for a royal, but for anyone. He definitely spoke his mind. He kept Queen Lizzie in check, I'll give him that much, telling her to hurry up, get things bloody moving. He was always very, brash with the press. But, I think he's that's a very fair representation of him and his sense of humor, I would say.
All right.
All right. Well, speaking of controversy, Steph, what do you think are the chances that Prince Harry and Meghan will actually travel back for the funeral?
Oh.
I hope that they will be doing that, and I think this is a really good time for them to meet up with all the family and hopefully make amends and put some water under the bridge. This is a colossal loss for the royal family. He is the head, obviously the Queen is the Queen, but he's the head of their household. He's helped raise all those children. He's been such a supporting factor of that family. So I'm hoping that Harry and Meghan will go back, and this will be a time for them to make amends, put to bed any bad feeling, and hopefully all move forwards in a positive light and support the Queen, who Harry is extremely fond of.
That's wonderful insight on that, Stephanie. Thank you so much for all your insight on this. Again, I'm so sorry to hear. I mean, it's hard when a leader of your country has passed. So our thoughts are to you, as well as everyone from the Great Britain area. Well, Hunter Biden is out with a new memoir and is making the media rounds. Last night he was on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy got to ask him about his infamous laptop. Whoop, 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 that many on the right think is a smoking gun. So here's what Hunter had to say about it.
No, look, I really don't know. And the fact of the matter is it's a red herring. It is absolutely red herring. But I am absolutely, I think, within my rights to question anything that comes from the desk of Rudy Giuliani. And so I don't know is the answer.
A lot of people online are reacting to some of the jokes, though, that Kimmel made about Hunter's real addiction to crack cocaine. Let's take a look at this and talk about it on the other side.
You were doing crack at the places that I eat.
Yeah. Well, not intentionally. I wasn't stalking you.
No, I didn't think you were. But, I feel like I learned a lot about crack. And I know that sounds weird, but you hear about it and you see it on TV shows and, in the news every once in a while. But I learned how to I really think I could get it now, thanks to your book.
Well, I hope that wasn't the message.
One person tweeted, Jimmy Kimmel making lighthearted jokes about crack with Hunter, sir. Addiction jokes in 2021? It's not funny. So what's your take? Is it okay to joke about addiction like this? I'm going to our stand-up comic. I am a stand-up as well, but you're better. Do tell us a little bit about that, because I thought it pushed the I get it. Jokes are always going to be okay for me, but I thought it was a little inappropriate. I did.
I mean, making jokes about smoking crack, that's ridiculous and out of line, right? Richard Pryor?
I know.
Yeah. Like all the greats.
I know.
Everyone has struggled with addiction, and a lot of times, if you want to speak to people about something serious, Brandon, you do it in the form of a joke, because otherwise it becomes a TED Talk, and no one wants to listen to that unless they showed up for a TED Talk. But if you present things with humor, that's why anybody that's taking a speechwriting class, they say start with a joke, because people relax a little bit and they're more willing to listen to information. So I saw no problem.
What about as an addict? A former addict? Did you have a problem with that? I mean, did it rub you the wrong way as an alcoholic?
Not at all. Not at all. Like I appreciate it.
As a black man, shouldn't that rub you a little bit the wrong way?
Talk to me.
Because I understand, like, okay, he's overcome something. I get that. But if we talk about the crack epidemic back in the 80s and the 90s, if you weren't a Hunter Biden, or you weren't the same color of skin as a Hunter Biden, you probably wouldn't be on Kimmel. today.
Absolutely
Because
not.
of who his father is, he got away with being able to be a crack addict and to come back and to serve as the head or serve on certain boards and stuff. So I look at it and I'm like, okay, I'm glad you guys are laughing about it. I'm glad you're laughing about how the racial disparities were of this drug, and it upset me, Al. It really did upset me for watching that interview.
I mean, well, I don't know if you're getting so. I'm sorry, I can't even listen to what you're saying. I love what you're wearing today. You look super cool.
You look so good.
I'm like, wow. I'm like, that looks great on you.
He looks so cool.
I digress. I think the thing that you're getting upset about is privilege, and whether it extends to drugs, whether it extends to somebody has multiple DUIs that just went away because their daddy pays the sheriff's vacation, whatever. That's what privilege brings, and it's a larger conversation about how we decide to structure our society and punishment.
That's a really good point, that the privilege of him getting away with that, or at least laughing about it after that, is something not everybody enjoys.
Yeah.
Very good point.
I saw a great tweet one time from the guy that passed away years ago. He committed suicide. He created a bunch of shows. I forgot his name. Wendell Wetzel something. Yeah. But his tweet was, I love watching actors laughing about talking about having regular jobs that people still hold.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're like, I used to be a waiter. Can you believe it?
People like,
and it's like,
yo, I'm a waiter now. Wow, lots of privilege. All right, guys, coming up on DBL, Dancing with the Stars champ Cheryl Burke joins us. Could she be back for season 30 of the hit show? But first, we're breaking down the latest in the Derek Chauvin trial, the riveting courtroom testimony. That's coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Deposit $1 now for a chance to win $20,000. Terms apply.
Welcome back to DBL. There was some very important testimony yesterday in the trial of Derek Chauvin. So a number of medical experts were called into the stand to testify about the cause of George Floyd's death, including this pulmonary specialist. Here's what he had to say, what caused Floyd's death. Take a look.
Mr. Floyd died from a low level of oxygen. The cause of the low level of oxygen was shallow breathing. Main forces that are going to lead to the shallow breath are going to be that he's turned prone on the street, that he has the handcuffs in place combined with the street, and then that he has a knee on his neck and then that he has a knee on his back and on his side.
It's hard to hear every time. The reason this is so important, just so you know, we're not just showing you this, it's because the defense is arguing that Floyd's death was caused by the drugs in his system and not by the knee on his neck. What do you think of this testimony as a juror? And if you're being a good juror, this is the meat you can get your teeth into. This is where you can say, okay, cause of death, boom, I can blame you. Without you, Derek Chauvin, George Floyd would be alive today. What do you think, Brandon?
And he also showed a picture of Derek Chauvin having his knee on George Floyd, but the toe, the boot, not touching the ground, which means that his body weight was on him. He also showed the video evidence where the man, he testified saying that, hey, there's at that moment where you could see that he was lifeless, his eyes were lifeless, he stayed on him for another 3 minutes and 27 seconds. So we've heard from the civilians. We've seen people cross over that blue line out, and now we're hearing medical experts. I pray it's enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably will be. But I think overall this is a win for defense attorneys everywhere, because if we can see what we see and we still need 49,000 witnesses and a 4-week trial for this, then what happens when the cameras go away? What happens when this is now okay, where you watch somebody be murdered and then there has to be this discussion about, well, did he have a heart attack before the guy shot him? When you see something and it's still not a slam dunk, I think it's a win for defense attorneys everywhere, because all they got to do is prove a fraction of a doubt.
And it's funny you say that, Al, because remember, I believe it was either last year or the year before where people were outraged because the state of Arizona has now made it illegal for you to film cops during an arrest. So that plays into what you said just now. Now, what else are you going to need to try and convict someone?
Federally, you can use this. This is an important part of the civil rights movement. You can always film federally. That is illegal. But I will say this. There has to be due process, even though we saw it. I am against, of course, all of this. But when you say defense attorneys, that's a right that is given to us innately.
And they are unfairly attacked a lot when they defend horrible people. So my dad was an attorney. So
my dad's a defense attorney, right? So we get it.
I get that, but I'm just saying, for people that are currently defense attorneys, when something like this comes up, they can just kind of throw out any theory, and hey, it could happen.
It could stick.
It could be a thing.
It could be one person, and it could stick. I agree.
Gaslighting. The original Shaggy, it wasn't me.
God, I love that song.
It's gaslighting.
Because you got me on camera. It wasn't me.
That's gaslighting.
We got you on camera. Coming up on DBL.
Shout out to Shaggy.
We love Shaggy. Dancing with the Stars pro dancer Cheryl Burke from Tyra's Takeover to possibly coming back next season. This dancing queen literally gives us all the deets. Coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. Cheryl Burke danced her way into our homes 15 years ago on Dancing with the Stars, and now she's got a new podcast and a line of really cute masks. But will she return for the 30th season of the show that made her famous? We caught up with Cheryl earlier in Chatting with the Stars.
Woo, there she is. Hey, Cheryl, how are you?
Hi, guys. I'm great. How are you?
We're doing well now that you're on our show.
Yeah.
Okay, so this fall, Dancing with the Stars is celebrating, I can't believe saying this out loud, 30 seasons. 30. Will you
Can you believe it?
I can't.
That's so crazy.
Crazy. It's become such a staple in a lot of our lives. 30 seasons. Will you be back for this major milestone? You've said in the past that you're ready to retire, though.
You know, I keep going back and forth. Like, my head tells me maybe maybe not. But then my heart and my passion says absolutely, like, you have to celebrate this milestone. I've been a part of the show since season 2, so it's a huge celebration. I cannot believe just to say season 30. Everyone's like, what? It's been on for 30 years? No, it hasn't been on 30 years. We used to do 2 seasons a year, so I think around 15 years now. But still, it is such a huge celebration.
And as fans, I mean, we've gotten to see the evolution of you personally, the evolution of the show. And of course, many fans were shocked that Dancing with the Stars host Tom Bergeron and Erin Andrews were replaced with Tyra Banks. So what did you think of the shakeup?
I think that after 30 seasons or 20-something seasons of anything, right, it's time to basically evolve and grow. And I think that's what, Tyra adds to the show. It's new, it's fresh, and it's important that, we evolve as a show. And I think she's been adding a different type of energy, a very, positive and fun energy. I love being able to see what she wears every single week. I mean, it's so cool just to see her take on ballroom fashion,
So Cheryl, last season you were partnered, as Sam said earlier, with AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys. You guys didn't win. I was pulling for you, but now you have a podcast called Pretty Messed Up. I'm a huge boy band fan. What's it like working with a member of the Backstreet Boys?
Oh my gosh. Well, AJ is just amazing. He's a really great guy. And I think what really bonded us from the beginning is we're both sober, so we definitely have that in common. And even before the season last season, we actually were going to do this podcast. Had no idea he was going to be on the show, let alone be my partner. So this was something that has been in the works with iHeart for quite some time now. And it's me, Renee, his mentor, and AJ. And it's fun because we get to we're uncensored and we talk everything about mental health, sobriety, and we have really cool guests coming on and stuff like that. So it's nice to not be edited, And
I just want to say personally, I really am thankful to you and AJ and your podcast for trying to destigmatizing addiction. So thank you for putting mental health right there front and center. We appreciate that. Now, Dancing with the Stars
thank
host,
you so much.
You're welcome. Dancing with the Stars host Tyra wants to see Colin Kaepernick on the show. If you could pick your next, yeah, I know, isn't that a good one? I don't know if he would ever do it, but
it is.
If you could pick,
I'm a Bay Area girl, so that would be a perfect partner.
Where in the Bay Area were you?
Palo Alto area.
Okay, Santa Cruz over here. If you could pick your next partner, who would it be? Anybody in the world?
Well, if Colin's going to be on, why not? We'll represent the Bay Area, but I've always vouched for Joe Coy. We're both Filipino.
We just had him on the show.
He's my. Oh, you did? Yeah, we just had him on our podcast, and I've actually bonded with him just because we're both Filipino, and we just went way back to where our mothers would cook Filipino food, and it's just I think I would have. Selfishly, I would have a blast. But I don't think he'd ever do the show. So.
He's amazing.
It's a pretty good candidate. That's actually a good call.
He's so funny.
He's already a star, but he's really rising to the top of stardom. I think he might be on that show if he wants to do it. Yeah.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we'll see. I think he's currently shooting a movie with Steven Spielberg. So I think he's a little busy right now.
Yeah, he told us.
He's a little busy.
Now, Cheryl, first, thank you for joining us. But I think before we go, tell us all about your new masks.
So I've collaborated with Bailey Blue, and these are masks that, weirdly enough, I've been wanting to make even before the pandemic. I had a live stage show in Japan, and I saw all these beautiful Japanese people walking on the streets, and they had dental masks. And I was like, you know what? I've got to make something cuter. And so, you know, a series of unfortunate events happened, unfortunately, and I made masks. So this is more about the construction than the glitter, right? So what's important for me is that you can breathe in your masks, that you're not really self-conscious because you're not really feeling like you have a mask on your face, and look cute at the same time. So we actually have had these out for quite some time now. You can go to BaileyBlueClothing.com for more info, and we just released Mommy and Me masks. So like you and your daughter could have matching masks on her way to ballet class. We also have the rumba mask. They're basically named after every dance you've seen on Dancing with the Stars. You got the Paso Doble, the Quick Step. We've got so much.
I love it. And make sure, to our viewers, functional and fashionable. Go to BaileyBlueClothing.com. Cheryl Burke, thank you so much for joining us. Yes, we hope to see you back this season on Dancing with the Stars. Thanks, Cheryl. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. Oh boy, this group. When it comes to your health, how often should you be exercising? We're going to chat about it in DBL's Focus on Fitness, presented by QB. So you need to find that happy medium with your body. If you exercise too much, you can overeat as a result. Or if you're not active enough, you won't see any results or weight loss. So experts say the key is 30 minutes of exercise a day. It does not need to be strenuous. You don't have to go to the gym, but take a walk or do at-home exercises, anything that gets your body moving. Staying active is so important, and QB has made it easy. QB is changing the way the world thinks about fitness, regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-782-2351 or visit QB.com to learn more. Very important to get up and walk. We did want to let you guys know some sad news. Rapper and actor DMX has passed away after complications following a heart attack. He was only 50 years old. His family confirmed his death at a New York hospital today. In a statement, they said Earl was a warrior who fought till the very end. He loved his family with all of his heart, and we cherish the times we spent with him.
Yeah, we just went from talking about exercise, and I just remember when I was grinding, trying to get to the NFL, you play some DMX music, and you know, a 5 a.m. workout doesn't feel like a 5 a.m. workout. So he was such a cultural icon to so many.
He struggled with demons his whole life, but I feel like at the end of the day, 50 DMX years, a lot of people will take that. He'll always be remembered, especially as like original hip hop fans before it's as mainstream as it is, as one of the people on Mount Rushmore of hip hop.
Pioneers, right? Rest in power. DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.